Y'all, we need to talk about Invincible on Amazon Prime because there I was, minding my own business, checking out a new show, original show that looked awesome, superheroes, powers, saving the world, origin story, coming into the powers, all that good stuff, an animated version. So, we get to the end of the first episode, and yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm gonna give some spoilers. So the season finale has dropped on Amazon Prime. So it's 8 episodes. So if you haven't watched them all, definitely check them all out. Yeah, I did not see that coming. And for the first episode either. Essentially, Omni-Man just decimated all of the Guardians of the Globe very brutally. The plot for the next few episodes is basically like, why did he do that? Him keeping it a secret. And on the other side, it was Mark, aka Invincible, coming into his powers, learning how to navigate having an alter ego, and then being a superhero. So it was definitely, it's a really great show. I just was really surprised they went that route. So ultimately, like, the original crew of Guardians of the Globe are just eradicated. So a new group of younger Guardians, rises up, even though they had been still like saving the city and protecting people in between that. So, we're getting this new group. So ultimately, fun fact, all the voices of the original Guardians of the Globe were all actors and actresses from The Walking Dead. So, you know how that show goes. One of the things I will say is J.K. Simmons as Omni-Man, like aka the dad, bodied that voice role. You can just feel like every single emotion that he conveys in every scene, and the animators, kudos to them, because like his face, furrowed brow, his eyes, super scary. I will never look at the yellow M&M the same again. But ultimately, it's a great show. Like, I'm still trying to wrap my head around why we're going with the name Invincible for Mark, because it's been a couple times now. He has gotten mollywopped across the world and had to like recover for a few days, couple weeks. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around like when he's gonna truly come into his invincible status. But I think the main thing that was just going in my head was like, now that Omni-Man is essentially a bad guy, and so the original Guardians of the Globe were basically mirror images of DC Comics Justice League. So there was like the fast guy, the warrior woman, like the human who was just like really good with tech, and aka Batman kind of thing. So Omni-Man is basically Superman, but the only thing different is that there hasn't been like a kryptonite type of weapon found that can take him down. Like, they've sampled his blood and all this stuff to try and figure out, but like really their only hope lies in Mark, his son, who's also a Viltrumite, who could maybe take him down. So ultimately, the season finale, and spoilers ahead if you have not seen it yet, it is revealed why Omni-Man murdered the entire Guardians of the Globe, and ultimately his home planet of Viltrium were like warriors, but even within their own race, it was always best of the best, sir, with honors type of thing. So they like killed half of their race because they had to see who the best was. And so he rose to the ranks, and essentially they sent out a Viltrium to like every planet to kind of like, do some recon before ultimately like taking over every planet, because they see themselves as the superior race, the superior species. So Omni-Man is sent to Earth, but along the way, during his duration here, he meets the mom, falls in love, they have Mark, and there's elements of his character and disposition that slowly change in being around humanity. But the final episode just ultimately showed that he doesn't give two shits about humanity and is willing to kill anyone and everyone who opposes him. That even means taking down his own son. So there's just this very emotional battle between the two, where at first Mark just thinks his mind has been taken over or something, but like, this is him. So he's learning about ultimately his heritage, where his father comes from, and ultimately what the plan is for Earth. And Mark is like the only person standing in the way, because the other superheroes from the new Guardians team, like, they all know they stand no chance against Omni-Man. So ultimately they're, helping around the city, helping people, taking them to the hospital, whatnot. So, I mean, it really ended with the dad beating Mark, aka Invincible, to a pulp. And in seeing him in that state, it triggered a memory to when he was a little kid. And the mom was basically telling Omni-Man, like, our children's joy is our joy. And that, like, he is he's us, like, every part of him. And that love is so deep. And I think that was the one thing that kept Omni-Man from literally killing Mark. So he flew away and like out of the solar system, and they don't know where he is. The government organization is trying to figure out next steps. So ultimately, I'm guessing the Viltrumites who still want to take over Earth are going to still come. And if Mark couldn't even take on his own dad, I don't really understand how he's going to be able to take on an army, let alone more than one person. And I haven't read the comics, which I believe it is based on, so I'm on the edge of my seat waiting. It's been renewed for season 2 and 3, I believe, so hopefully Amazon doesn't keep the fans waiting too long and gets that second season going, because I'm very interested to see where we go from here. But I would give Invincible, half the time I'm sitting there just like, I don't know what to do. The first episode when the Guardians of the Globe were just murdered and how violently they were, like, I'm just like fumbling with stuff. Like, how can I help? I didn't even know what to do. Didn't see that coming. So I would really give it a 9 out of 10. It's basically watching an animated version of The Boys, where the superheroes are kind of evil but super powered, and there is like a select group of both human and kind of super people looking to stop them. And boy, oh boy, the violence in animated version is kind of on par with The Boys, and both of them are on Amazon Prime. So Amazon, keeping with the hits, and realistic, because it does, bear the question, if someone's super, like, who's to say they would choose to be good? Obviously, they're villains with superpowers, but when you have someone like Superman, that's why Batman always had like a failsafe, because what if he goes dark? What are we gonna do? So we'll see what happens. I am very excited about season 2. Very much enjoyed season 1, and like I say, J.K. Simmons has bodied this role, and all the other voice actors are awesome and brilliant, and I just can't wait to see what happens next. If you've watched Invincible season 1, drop a comment and let me know what you thought, and if you're looking forward to season 2. And it's gonna be a wild ride. Take care. Peace.